What was sealed in the Ghislaine Maxwell case? Can we overrule it? Keep in mind, in the Jeffrey Epstein's plea deal, there was apparently an agreement to not prosecute any of his co-conspirators, but they then prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell. Why? And why has seemingly everyone else been spared? America wants to know if powerful people are getting away with terrible things. That's all. That's what this is about. And if it upsets the world order, great. I don't care. I agree with Tim Burchin on their sentence.
Find them guilty and hang them publicly. I mean, that's not over the top either. I'm ready. I'm over it.
Maybe that's why he's calling for Ghislaine Maxwell to testify before the House Oversight Committee. These are the things we as a country are owed. And the only way to put this to bed is to get real answers on everybody who was involved. Jay Town, legal analyst. Jay, sensitive subject. You and I both support the president, but we got to get some answers here.
Yeah, and I think really, you've hit on it throughout your sort of read-in or monologue in the beginning of your show, and I'm glad you're covering this the way that you are, because I think you are espousing the concerns that much of the base has, and really the Democrats are salivating over the divide that they're hoping that this Epstein case causes. What I guess where I land on this, and I read General Flynn's tweet, and I really think the message that he was sort of driving at there was, don't let the Epstein case divide the base, divide this party, and interrupt or disrupt the great things that you are doing and will continue to do as president of the United States. With that being said, I don't believe anybody would, with a straight face, say that Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche and certainly President Donald Trump are part of the deep state apparatus that is keeping things a secret. I believe that the biggest thing that we can do, I think, as a government right now, as it relates to this case, and this is, I said, you said you didn't really care about this. This wasn't why I voted for Trump. It was the other 1,000 things that he's doing right. This was, one of those things. What we could do is, and President Trump said it, General Bondi will release all of the credible evidence that she is allowed and permitted by law to release. Now, when that is, we don't know. We would all like it sooner than later. I'm sure that General Bondi would like to get this off of her desk as well, because it is distracting. But there are a lot of good reasons why there's the victims' names. Not everybody has the courage you do, Carl. Not everybody wants to stand in front of a camera or the Congress or a grand jury and say what happened to them, especially 20 years later when they now are 34 years old with 3 kids that they're going to have to explain where mommy is all day and why she's on television and the internet. Yeah. I don't think we need to appease the Reddit crowd. I think that a statement about what is released, and here's what's released, and here's why it's credible, and then 2, here's why we didn't release what else we know. And that's going to have to be good enough. I've been a prosecutor my entire adult life. I've had a security clearance my entire adult life, and I can tell you that there are just some things that the law does not allow you to release. And it's not a secret. It's not a cover-up. It's because there are victims' names. There are victims in that child porn that is sitting on General Bondi's desk that you just can't release those videos.
Sure. Well, fair enough point. I want to agree with you on one part of this, is that, yes, I know Bongino and Kash Patel, and I think they're men of immeasurable character. I sort of know Pam Bondi. I think that there's a lot of players and actors and reasons, including Comey's daughter, who was a prosecutor. I think there is a lot of cattywampus amongst the lower ranks that I don't think is getting to the top, which is why I don't want this to be a dividing factor. However, if there are victims in there, protect them. If these videos, keep them sealed. However, there has to be people in them, and that is what we want. And I think you can agree that if there are powerful people, even if it would upset the entire world order, I don't care. Burn them at the stake.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, if there's I don't care if they're powerful or not, if they're engaged in sexual activity with a 14-year-old minor, then, the Congressman Burchett said it perfectly.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone who has prosecuted sex crimes and rapes and capital murders and put people on death row. I believe in this stuff in my guts, but I also believe that what General Bondi can release, I do believe that they will. And I believe that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, they will back up whatever she releases. And maybe we overpromised. Maybe we didn't know back in the during the campaign all that there was to know. And then when it finally got on her desk, and by the way, the files that were on her desk, that was also the JFK files and other things. It wasn't just this. And so
but she was referring to she was referring to the Epstein Files. I like Pam Bondi, but we know that this was, she might have got out ahead of her skis. Like you said, she might not have known.
Well, until you go through it, you don't know. You can't know, right? So I think we give her that benefit of the doubt, and I think when they do come out with a fulsome statement about here's what we can release, and here's why we can't release the rest of it, I think we have to move on and accept it. I really do. I think that's just sometimes that's the justice system, and it is protecting people, and I don't think it's protecting the bad people.
And that's fair. My concern is that most conspiracy theories have come true, Jay. So we appreciate it very much. So thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
All right. Folks, yesterday we did a whole bit on